Hey there Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the moods, safety and emotional well-being of those of you who have your moon within your first house within your natal birth chart, but also for those of you who have a Cancer rising, okay? But before we do get into this, make sure that you give this video a like if you like it. Also make sure to subscribe if you have not already and to click that little bell icon in order to keep yourself updated with further content from myself. And one more quick thing to mention, if you would like to know more information all about your moon sign, your moon house, along with your Cancer house and your fourth house within your birth chart, then I have created a Cancer season / archetype ebook. So what I am going to do is I'm going to provide a link to that ebook in the description box below so that you can pick up your copy today if you would like. Okay, so with all those introductions out of the way, moon in the first house and Cancer rising individuals, let's do this. Okay, so the first thing that I want to mention about having your moon in the first house is that you may have the same rising sign as your moon sign, or you may not. It really just depends upon the house system that you're using in order to read your chart. And the second thing that I want to mention is that if you have a Cancer rising, then look to see where the moon is located within your chart, because that's going to tell you more information about how your moon energy is playing out, which, keeping in mind, by the way, if you do have a Cancer rising, this then means that the moon is your chart ruler. So the third thing that I want to mention here is that if you have a Cancer rising as well as your moon in Cancer in the first house, then this video is especially for you. Alright, so with all that being explained, let's get into this. If you have your moon in the first house or a Cancer rising, because of course it can resonate, then what this suggests is that your moods really do dominate your life, lead your life. So from the actions that you make to the choices that you decide upon, from the way that you approach new situations, to the way that you perceive your physical appearance, from the partners that you choose to settle down with, to the way you interact with your family members. Essentially, your moods are this huge guiding force in your life as your emotions move you and direct you. Oh yeah, your moods can fluctuate like there's no tomorrow. So maybe one day you're feeling all excited and pumped and ready to go to visit your favorite restaurant, but then another day all you want to do is snuggle and cozy up under the covers and not even talk to a single soul. Or maybe there is a time period where you really look at yourself in the mirror and you feel really good with what you see, but then the next thing you know, that shirt that you once loved on yourself, it doesn't feel the same because of how you feel about it. However, it's also the same process that can be somewhat overwhelming and kind of hard to control at times. So for example, maybe your emotions are just written all over your face, and so others can quite clearly see whenever you're happy and you're excited or when you're content, but then they can also see just as much whenever you're frustrated and you're mad or you're disappointed, or when you're just feeling quite sulky, even though you might say something like, I'm fine. Or let's say, for another example here, that you learned a particular emotional pattern growing up, but it's a pattern that isn't really all that good or healthy for you, but yet it's still a coping strategy. Maybe it's the same emotional pattern that you feel really, really difficult to shake because of your past conditioning. Or another example being, maybe your emotional reactions to certain people and situations and places, they are instinctive, meaning that these reactions, they're really done without any conscious thought. Maybe everyone else around you can quite clearly see that you're acting on an impulse, but you maybe not so much. Though, on the other hand, it's these same emotional reactions and patterns that I just mentioned that actually can be used as survival tools to keep you safe, to keep you protected. After all, underneath our civilized society where we're surrounded by skyscrapers and businesses, we're all instinctive primal animals, and it's our instincts that keep us safe from danger, right? Which, can I just say here, Moon in the first house, Cancer rising individuals, you're probably you probably have a very good judge of character. It's as if you can sniff out the people in the room who mean you well or who are genuine, but you can also just as much sniff out the people within the room that you strongly feel that you should avoid at all costs. And so in this respect, you're probably someone who feels out whatever room you walk into or whatever new situation that you enter into or whichever new people that you meet in your day-to-day. Now, in this way, you may get these hunches about certain people and your surroundings, and so what you may do is you may subconsciously base your actions and your directions upon these very hunches. So on one hand, right, you may be a highly accommodating, supportive, nurturing, caring individual towards others and people that you meet, etc. But on the other hand, you may be very protective, very guarded, and on the defense when you need to be. It all really depends on your judgment and your instincts, and also upon your emotions and your moods, as previously mentioned. However, what I want to do is I want to take this a step back by addressing the past conditioning. So perhaps for you, your childhood meant or still means so much to you. So much so that maybe how you were raised, it stays with you along your journey towards self-discovery. And therefore, as you enter into new areas of your life, such as starting a new friendship, starting a new job, or starting a new educational program, maybe you base your decisions strongly upon how you were nurtured, how you were raised, how you were taken care of growing up. So for example, maybe you seek your mother's approval whenever you choose a partner, or you seek your family's approval. Or maybe you choose a partner who reminds you of your mother, whether the partner be male or female, or you choose your partner based upon the type of relationship that you had with your mother, or based upon the type of relationship that you had with your family. Or it could very well be that you often call your family to validate your decisions, or perhaps you have a really close connection with your parents or your siblings, and so you really look to them for direction, you look to them for guidance. On the other hand though, perhaps for some of you, you didn't or don't have the best relationship with your nurturer or with your caretaker or with your family overall, but yet you still base your actions upon the lack of emotional support that you had, such as completely bending for yourself and facing the big bad world alone, or having no other choice than to just buckle up and make of life what you want. Or perhaps this lack of emotional support even makes you feel as if you don't really have anybody to turn to, or maybe it makes you excuse me, quite confused over your emotions altogether. Now, this I feel may be something more connected with those of you who have difficult aspects to your moon. Perhaps for some of you, your past conditioning even involved being the caretaker, or perhaps your family acted like this training ground for your everyday life, and so for as long as you can remember, you observed homemaking at its finest, along with families getting together and events being planned, or maybe you just growing up, you attended to your family's emotional needs. Or perhaps for some of you, you were surrounded by many female figures who made the home what it was, or Perhaps you witnessed females in all of their raw emotion, or lack thereof, of course, as I kind of previously mentioned. Then again, maybe there were family members that required much assistance and extra support, such as a family member being sick or having some sort of disability. Though on the flip side, perhaps it's actually you who required this support and caregiving from others. Could even very well be suggested that you were a baby who you needed more tender love and care in comparison to the other siblings that you had, or if you even had any siblings. Or maybe as a baby you were quite clingy and needy. Though to be fair, maybe this is something that you picked up because your mother either didn't give you enough affection or give you way too much affection. Though whatever way this played out, Moon in the first house, Cancer rising individuals, it's your past experiences that have really strongly molded and shaped your self-identity. Not to mention, it's also these experiences that correspond with how you perceive yourself and how you perceive the world around you. So for example, perhaps your mother told you that certain types of people or certain types of areas should be avoided because they were very unsafe. Or maybe a family member held you as a little baby as they would repeat certain words to you over and over and over. And of course that repetition can stay then within your subconscious. Or perhaps they had a really cute name for you. Or maybe there was just certain family traditions and values that were instilled into you as you were raised. Could quite possibly be here that you stay true to these family traditions even until today, such as visiting your Uncle Sam every Christmas Eve with your sisters, or going to Coney Island every summer with your mom, for an example. Naturally though, this can also extend to your ancestors and to your culture, such as you being proud of your Irish ancestry or following particular customs within the society that you grew up in. So in this respect, perhaps you're the type of person who you introduce yourself to others knowing full well where you come from and how you got here today. And if others ever try to diminish your upbringing, or if they're ignorant to particular historical events in time that you know about, well, you might be very quick to correct these individuals as a way to show them how you feel about the matter. Which, by the way, you might be a very good defender of your family even if you don't have the best relationship with them. So it's this whole attitude of, I'm only allowed to call my sister an idiot, not you. No. No strangers are allowed to attack your family, but I mean, you're allowed to say something because it's your family, right? But following on from this point, okay, maybe safety and protection, they really do play a huge role in your life, okay? And I kind of already touched on this earlier, but perhaps you don't make certain leaps unless you feel that the result for you is secure enough. Perhaps you often reflect upon new situations before just rushing in. Then again, maybe sometimes, or a lot of the times, you can't help but just go with your instincts, go with your gut, because it's just so strong. Or quite possibly, like I said, maybe you converse with your family and with your close friends that you deem as family in order to get their insight first. Possibly by getting the big green light from your loved ones means that you're in the all clear, and so surely it's the safest decision. On the other hand, is it though? Because what may also happen with you, Moon in the first house, Cancer rising individuals, is that you might be dependent on others to validate the actions that you make. Or maybe you don't want to let other people down, or perhaps you don't want those who you love to see you fall flat on your face, and so you might live your life in the safe zone. Now, there may be other placements within the chart to sort of counteract with this, but there is a possibility with your moon being in the first house, or with having a Cancer rising, where you're always playing it safe, where you're afraid of taking risks. Though on the flip side of this, maybe the safest options really help you feel emotionally satisfied, or they help you with your emotional well-being. Perhaps you can sleep better at night knowing that your life feels safe and it feels secure. And if it doesn't, then things can feel quite unstable and emotionally shaken up. And so in this respect, perhaps you're someone who isn't really a big fan of the unknown. You're not really a big fan of unexpected surprises. And so as new unexpected changes happen throughout your life, you might have a tendency of clinging to how things used to be. Though seeing as we're now talking about how you handle change and new situations, I still think that you're highly adaptable, okay? I still think that you can be quite perceptive, and I think that you can be very good at taking charge in new situations that really do require that change. You're okay with taking leadership or with asserting yourself. Heck, you might be the one who keeps it together for everybody else around you. Then again, maybe putting on the caretaker mask is how you cope with stressful or challenging situations, all whilst your emotions underneath are they're going crazy. Or maybe your way of coping is by retreating. Okay, that's another coping strategy here, by sort of reverting back into yourself when things become too much in your life. Then again, maybe a certain coping strategy is you lashing out and just deciding, you know what, I've had enough. But whichever way that you deal with stressful situations, or with whichever way that you handle change, you can be very reactive as you sort of fight for safety, you fight for security. Essentially though, you want to put your needs and the needs of the ones that you love first. And so if anybody or anything comes along to threaten that, well, you might throw all rationality and all objectivity out the window and act on impulse to ensure that you and your loved ones are safe and protected. Moon in the first house, Cancer rising individuals. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video on the moods, safety and emotional well-being of those of you who have your moon in the first house, but also for those of you who have a Cancer rising. Now if you happen to have any of these placements, then please let us know what you thought of the video in the comment section down below. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and of course if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then make sure that you click that subscribe button and give this video a like, remember, and I will be back with another video very soon.